Making friends is so easy, but everyone makes it sound like it's so complicated. It's some sort of impossible task, especially if you're a shy, quiet introvert. But I'm telling you, you can be all of those things and come across as confident. And so this is your ultimate guide on how to make friends effortlessly and come across as confident. So stick around if you want to learn more on how to become that effortlessly confident individual that just connects with others and makes those genuine friendships. Please just don't let that social awkwardness hold you back anymore. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first things first, treat people like you already know them. Assume that they want to know what you have to say. If you start overthinking and you start thinking negative things like, oh my God, what are they gonna think? That you're starting to project, and we don't want that. We don't want any negativity. How are you gonna know if someone's friendly if they don't just start talking? They don't know you're friendly. So you need to go out there and just assume that everyone has good intentions and people want to hear what you got to say. You never know where that's going to lead. Obviously, add in a bit of humor, add in a bit of vulnerability. I think that's truly where your energy, your passion comes out. And share a funny story. Share a funny story about your car, your dog, whatever happened that day. And it just fosters that environment of reciprocity. So you share something, they're gonna start sharing something, and just that's how the bond's gonna start off. That's probably one of my favorite tips that I have so far, because most times I get people that ask me in real life all the time, like, Plamena, how do you make so many friends? Like, personally, I didn't have a lot of friends when I graduated high school. My graduating class was 6 people, so they all moved away in different places. So I genuinely had to start from scratch, especially in university. I didn't have any friends, and my favorite tip has always been just act like you already know them. You never know what's gonna happen. And I think from there, since you've given it your all and you've foster that good environment, if they reciprocate, that's on them, and then the bond can be created and can be continued. But if they don't want to reciprocate, let it go and move on. But you've allowed for that opportunity to happen, because otherwise, how are people going to know that you're friendly? And a common misconception is people seem to believe or think that it's this innate capability that I'm just born with and I've always had this, and that's simply not the truth. It's something that I've practiced, rehearsed over time, and now it's become just more of second nature to me. But if I had to summarize this, honestly, just talk to people like you already know them. Usually people are going to reciprocate. Don't take it too seriously. It's not that deep. I think embracing vulnerability and authenticity is probably the best way to build those connections. Why, you ask? It just fosters that environment of trust, reciprocity, and just creates an instant bond. Who wants to talk to a boring person that everything is always perfect? They're just sitting uptight. It's just not a good time. You wanna share funny stories, share a joke. It also creates that theme and thread in that relationship. Let's say you start talking to someone where you have the same car, and it's just you start talking about that, and then you talk about something else, and you use the car to go to the gym. You start talking about the gym, what phase of your workouts you're in, and it just keeps going. It's the fastest and the easiest way to keep the relationship flowing. Now, the best way to have that vulnerability is to have trust. And my philosophy is trust until you're proven wrong, not the other way around. Don't try to be all mysterious. Just trust. It'll create that relatability that you might have with this person, and just move along. Sometimes you'll get a connection, you'll click with someone super quick. Sometimes it won't work, and it's not that deep. It just means that it wasn't meant to be. And now the next tip is to be an active listener. So I know this sounds easy. I know you're like, what do you mean active listener? Obviously you're there listening, but truly sitting there and putting yourself in the other person's shoes to understand what they're going through, and listening to understand and not to respond. I find myself sometimes that it's very easy to just go back and someone's talking and then you're just thinking about what you're gonna say next. Don't do that. Just think to understand what the other person's going through. And then my next second best tip is to ask questions. Well, how does that make you feel? What did you think? It just like gets that conversation going. And don't ever just ask yes no questions. Yes no questions will lead to nowhere. Truly like ask open-ended questions. And I think that's the best, because at the beginning of a relationship, there's so many different threads and themes you can go through and like start with a person, and the best way is just like asking those open-ended questions, listening to the other person, and just the conversation will flow super easily. Okay, so next tip is to use an open body language and non-verbal cues to show your engagement. Guys, I know we're not dating, but this is probably equally as important. So for example, number one is maintain eye contact. It just shows you're engaged and you're listening to them and you're part of the conversation. Afterwards, you are smiling. I know this does not seem very intuitive and you'd much rather just have your resting bitch face, but it is harsh. It does take an effort, but it has such a big impact. Like when you're walking down the street and you see someone smiling, sometimes it can even make their day. So like, just make that effort. It's really, really not that hard. Next thing is have open body language, but lean towards the person. Just like be present and just show that you're engaged. And probably after that, also mirror their body language. If you see that they're doing something, mirror their body language. It does something to your brain it sees that you're interested, you're engaged into that conversation. And probably that's it. Just like be engaged, be involved. Even like those like these can be like small verbal cues, but like listening, like nodding, adding those anything to show that you're engaged and you're present. And then the final tip in this section is finding common hobbies and interests. And I think the easiest way to do this, let's say you really have no clue and you get anxious, like what am I going to talk about? Do this at the place you're at. So let's say you go to the gym and you see the same people, the same 5 people at the gym. Like you don't need to like reinvent the wheel and talk to them about your work experience. Talk to them about the gym. Hey, did you see the renovations they made? How do you like them? How do you like this machine? Have you taken this class? There's so many ways to talk about that environment and that you can just like start a conversation and keep it going. Let's say at work, hey, we have a new food truck coming. Have you worked with this team? Just there's different ways for you to engage and keep the conversation going. But the best way is just, if you really don't know what to talk about, just start with the environment you're in, because it's very easy to just start a conversation out of nothing. Okay, so the last tip in this section is overcoming the fear of rejection. And I think this is the one that holds back the most socially awkward people, is they build it up as this big social event and they're afraid they're gonna get rejected. And I think we need to reframe this as it being from like personal fear, hey, I wasn't able to do this, to just not everyone's gonna connect with you, and that's okay. Like it's okay, not everyone's gonna resonate with how you are and who you are, and that's okay. But you're gradually putting yourself there, exposing yourself and getting uncomfortable. And then you're gonna be like, Plamena, but why would I wanna just like simply try to expose myself and get uncomfortable all these times and just try to build resilience for no reason? I think ultimately the main thing that has really, really helped me is the fact that you can consider these a practice rounds for when you really, really want to meet with someone and you want to actually develop that deep connection, because at that point it's going to be so natural for you and it's going to flow so effortlessly. Okay, so now that we've established the mindset shift and some quick and easy ways to become more effortlessly social, now let's go through what are the types of people that we want to attract in our lives. Okay, so now what kind of people do you want to attract? The first thing and the most important quality I would look in a friend, a good best friend that I would consider is positivity. And just, you don't want to be surrounded with people that are always talking about other people, gossiping, just like small talking about the most random irrelevant things, because chances are if they're talking about other people to you, then that means they're probably going to try to talk bad about you to other people. And that's just not the vibe, not your tribe. You'd want to talk to people that want to like improve themselves, grow. I always want to leave a conversation with a friend. I want to leave inspired. I want to leave that I've learned something, and that's something that manifests in their qualities. You also want someone that's loyal, that's going to stick with you in good or bad times, that you can tell that they have like a couple of good friends, and by you entering their circle, you're going to be part of that circle, and it's not just like a revolving door of like whoever's the next best thing that they're gonna try to be friends with. Just like a couple of good, respectful friends, which leads me to the next point, which is trustworthy. You want someone that you can trust with, that you can share your feelings, emotions in just like the most non-judgmental way. They're gonna ask those questions. They're gonna genuinely try to help you. Also, you want someone that's respectful and supportive. Everyone's in different phases of their life, but overall the common theme is just someone that is going to challenge you, but once they see your position, they're going to want to encourage you, help you, and just help you grow in different ways so that you can become a better version of yourself and level up. So that's just like, even in good or bad times, whatever it is, like someone's there to like ask you those hard questions, even if you don't want to hear them. I think that truly makes a really good friend. The next thing I'd be looking, and truly a really good friend, would be alignment. And that doesn't need to be like you both are working the same corporate job, you're on the same team in a different company, you do the same thing every day, you go to work, you work out, you go home, like whatever it is. It doesn't need to be exactly the same. You need to have a common theme that you both want to level up, you want to feel inspired, you want to grow as people. You either could be reading the same books. It goes so much beyond than that. So again, you could be reading different books that help you improve, and like sharing those. You can be like teaching yourself different exercises that you're enjoying, like different types of workouts. There's so many ways to find common themes without doing same exact jobs or whatever. Like one could be in uni, one could be like already in the workforce. Personally, like my best friend, she's studying law right now, so we still have common themes despite our day-to-day regular stuff look completely different, and that's okay. And then finally, I'd say it's communication. You should not be the only person reaching out, and take this with like a grain of salt. Like, what I'm trying to say here is, the point of this video is you should be open to making the first step, initiating, reaching out. You need to be doing this. You can be doing this the first couple of times, but after you have an established relationship, if they're not reaching out, then there is no relationship. It is one-sided. So you need to be very mindful, because sometimes just people are scared to make that first step, but they want that good relationship. But sometimes it could also just be a one-sided relationship where you're putting in way more, significantly more than them, and then there's just no point. So just let that go. Okay, so you need to set the standard and be extremely intentional in how you're seeking out those relationships. So these are a couple of questions that have helped me truly like level set and know exactly what type of person I would be interested to be friends with. So one would be, how do you want to feel after seeing them? So personally, I want to feel inspired. I want to feel like I've learned something. I just want to feel like after seeing them, I have like learned some sort of nugget that I can apply to my life, whether that's like their outlook on something or something applicable. Hey, look, this is a new recipe I've learned, or this is a new workout that I'm doing, or like this is the book I'm reading. Anything that can be applied to my life or just make my life better and easier, you know? What else? How often do you want to see them? I know when we're in high school or when we're in just grade school, lots of times we see our friends every day. Are you one of those people that you want to have like high maintenance friends where you just see them quite often, every couple of days? Or do you want to be one of those low maintenance people where, for me personally, I don't mind, I could not see my best friend for a couple months and that's okay, and we can, the minute we see each other, we can pick off exactly where we left it off, and there's nothing that, it doesn't feel weird, doesn't feel off, and we just keep moving. And then finally, the last one is, what experience do you want us to share together? So are we having a type of relationship where we're going out clubbing every Friday and Saturday? Are we in a book club together? Are we working out together? What is the type of relationship that we want to have? Do we want to go for coffee once in a while? Personally, to me, one of the easiest and like the most low maintenance and practical ways to maintain a relationship is just go for coffee with someone, see where they're at in their life, what phase they're in, and just talk it out. Okay, so now what are some common mistakes when you're trying to make friends? I think first off is expecting them to be in the exact same stage of life as you're in. So for example, let's say you're in your corporate girly phase era, you're trying to get that next promotion, and your bestie is working a corporate job, but she is just not exactly on the same phase. She's not looking for that promotion. She's perhaps interested in starting her side hustle. She's working on that. And I think you don't need to be at the exact same phase in your life. Like my best friend, like I said, she's in law school, she's doing that in second year. So every person is in a different stage in their lives, and that's okay. You don't need to be at the exact same spot. You just need to have like common themes of relatability. Next common mistake that I see is just like excuses that you're a socially awkward person and you just can't go out there. It's easy for me to say, for me being such a bubbly extrovert, sure, that I can just do it so effortlessly, but for you, you can't do that. You can't even fathom to go out there and do that. But remember, at the end of the day, there's no one here to save you. There's no one else. You need to take your own accountability and be your own hero, honestly. Like, if you don't put in those practice rounds, like I said earlier, when the right time comes and you actually want to meet someone and be friends with them, you're not going to have that toolbox, that toolkit to start making those friends and making those genuine connections. So you need to go out there. I know it feels weird. I know it feels awkward, but there's not much to lose, so just go out there. Next mistake I see a lot is just like being a yes man or yes woman, whatever you want to call it. And that's just like, you see this sometimes social dynamic between a group where just one person's dictating, the other person's just agreeing with everything that they're saying. And they don't actually have an opinion, they're just regurgitating the other person's information, which to me, that's not a true friendship. Like that's a weird type of dynamic. You want to have your own opinion. You want to like agree with some parts, disagree. Like having that constructive tension is good. That means you're both pushing each other's like boundary standards, and you're seeing what is a happy medium, or what exactly do you agree with and do you not agree with. So I think it could get really dangerous if like you want the other person to like you. This really goes into ego of like you really want the other person to like everything about you, so you're just agreeing and like just being a perfectionist, and I don't think that's a good relationship to be in. You want a good authentic friendship where you can push each other's boundaries. I find the last mistake is just not putting yourself out there enough. Like I cannot stress this one enough, where it's really not that deep. Don't let your ego rule you, where you're like, oh, I cannot go say this, they're judging me. But that's the point. It is to be vulnerable, to share those funny moments, and to create that relationship. And if they don't vibe with that, they don't like that, that's okay. That's part of confidence. Just like you showing up as your truest self. And if they like that, they enjoy that, they can be your friend. If not, that's okay. Move on. don't text them, they won't text you. Like, that's it, that's all. Respectfully part ways. Okay, so now that you have the right mindset, where do you meet all these lovely people that you talk about? I think there's two key points to this, and one is you need to be comfortable with going places by yourself, just going places alone. Just because your friends can't come, of course everyone has different commitments. If they can't come to something, does not mean that you can't go. You need to be the one giving yourself that validation and just go. Like, literally the best thing in the mindset shift that I've had is you can always go home, but you'll always regret not going. So let's say you don't know if it's going to be a good time. How easy it is. Just pack up yourself and just go, just leave. But at least you know you went and you tried that. And then the second thing is there is no right formula to like where you can meet friends. Meeting friends is done anywhere. It could be done in the bathroom. It could be done at the post office. There is no like right formula that like at the gym between 6 to 7 a.m. that's where all the corporate girlies go, like, and that's your highest chance of making friends. Like, there's no formula. It's truly your mindset and like your openness to like making to like starting those connections. And I've noticed that a lot because I'm known to just start conversations with anyone about anything, and if you vibe, you vibe. But if you want a couple different examples, I have one, probably join some sort of club. So that could be, easiest thing that comes to mind is like a gym. So join some sort of gym, but my take on this would be join something where there's group classes. So either that could be some sort of studio that's not just like a gym in itself where you're working out, but a studio where you have those classes and you can form that community. So for example, like at 45, that's something I do a lot. You can go to a Pilates studio, like any studio where you have that element of community can work. You can join a book club. Anything where you have a common interest with someone, and then it's how easy is it to start a conversation based on something where you know it's been established that you both like. So super easy to start up a conversation. So that's number one. Okay, and then the next one, which is very obvious, just like go to like a social event, social gathering. But my spin on this is and being intentional about it, and then asking each one of your friends to invite someone that you don't know from their friend group. So just, it's kind of like a small tip of like trying to like expand your circle of your friends, because chances are if you're friends with them, you're probably going to be friends with their friends because you guys will probably have the same interests. So that's a fun little way. And then the next thing is probably like to host something, either like at your house or somewhere. Host an event, but like host it with your friends and the same spiel. Just get them to invite one other friend that you don't know, so then you can make more friends and expand your circle. Okay, and then obviously social media. TikTok is huge. I've seen countless TikToks of girls like moving to a new city and they'll say their interests and they'll be like, hey, I'm new to the city. These are my interests. Like, let's all connect. Let's be friends if you live in this city. Such a fun, easy, committal way to like start something super easy. Bumble BFF is a good way. I've tried it a couple times. The only thing is like you really need to be intentional and like keep at it and replying, because I think your messages disappear after 24 hours. So you need to either keep the conversation going or like get their contact info right away. Facebook groups, always fun. There's countless ways. And then the last no-brainer way is probably just to volunteer. There's so many different like small volunteering opportunities that you can do, and it's such a fun thing because you can meet people your age, like in their 20s, and it's super easy and you don't need to do much. You just need to like sign up and you're helping, but you're also creating those social connections. Okay, you guys, let's wrap this up. So in order to build those quality connections and those valuable, fun friendships, like you need to be open-minded, approachable, genuine, and remember, this is a gradual process. This does not happen overnight, and it's all about the mindset shift. There's no place, there's no location where you can make friends. It's all about you, just like you being open-minded and asking those questions and initiating, making that first step, because you never know where that will lead you. So thanks so much for watching, and here's my IG. Let's all be besties. Follow me on IG, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys in my next video. Bye.